I totally filmed this in the daylight when there was nice sun coming in, but the footage didn't work out and now it's dark, so my bad. But today's video will basically be my tips to you to help you grow your hair longer, stronger, thicker, faster, and just more smoothly. It's just what I've been doing and it works for me, so it might work for you. So I guess before we start, this is pretty much what my hair looked like after my big chop, and it was basically as long as maybe my mid-neck, and all the black that you see here is pretty much all the black you see here, and I completely cut out all of the color and everything in my hair. So yeah, my hair's basically down to, let me see if I can reach it, to mid-back maybe. And I actually even cut it not too long ago. It was really uneven because my hair was layered. Because it's layered, when it dries and it curls, it shrinks. So it was looking a little crazy and it was kind of getting on my nerves. So I kind of cut the long part to even it out a little bit. Now it's a little bit better. So I cut out maybe a couple of inches. So yeah. Before I blab you to death, which I'm about to do that right now, my first tip for you is to get rid of the damage. Chop it off, get rid of it as much as you can. If it's too much of a drastic change for you to just like cut out all of either the heat damage or color damage or your perm or whatever it is going on with your hair, like the broken pieces, do it as much as you possibly can tolerate. And then as your hair grows, keep trimming and cutting, because that's kind of what I did. I couldn't like really full on like chop the whole thing off, so I cut off as much as I could, and as it grew I kept trimming and cutting, and then kind of started from there. That process might be a bit longer than you anticipate, but once you get rid of all of the damage, your hair will look and feel different just in general. Like it won't look stringy or raggedy or just, you know, crazy. Once I cut out the rest of the color and heat damage and stuff from my hair, my curls just kind of bloomed and blossomed, and then it just grew on from there. Which rolls into my next big tip: lay off the heat completely, or, you know, as much as you absolutely possibly can. Take that hair straightener, take that curling iron, take that blow dryer, and hide it. I had to hide my straightener for a long time until I forgot about it, and then I got used to not using it. I don't normally blow dry my hair anyways. I've had a rough time diffusing my hair, so I just don't bother doing that. But if you do have curls and you want to diffuse your hair, keep it on cool. I roll with air drying. I would suggest to roll with air drying if you can. But again, if you're busy or if you have to go somewhere and you don't want your hair like dripping wet, do what you can. So after you get rid of the damage and you lay off the heat, leave your hair alone. Don't just let it be, let it live. Give your roots time to rest and recover if you were doing a lot of damage to it and a lot of pulling and tugging. And when you do those harsh hairstyles where you have to kind of beat your hair into shape and lay it flat, or like put it in those high ponytails, your hair like super slicked back, it's still straining your roots. And the more strain it does, the more it's kind of weakening and pulling it out, which is why a lot of people end up, you know, losing their edges or their hairline recedes, because they just keep pulling it back tighter and tighter, and then you're kind of stuck in that vortex of you have to pull it back or else it looks crazy, and the more you pull it back, the more damage you're doing, and then it's just leave it alone. Even if you're wearing like lace fronts or weaves, be really careful with how tight it is or the placement. Like try not to like put it directly on your roots. Just leave it alone. My next tip is the less products you use in your hair, the better. Try and keep it light. You don't want it to weigh down your hair and, you know, make your hair look flat, and then you're trying to do all of this other stuff to kind of give it volume, and then you're adding more things. Then you end up adding heat or whatever just to kind of make it how you want it. Within every product that you're using has things in it. So it has chemicals, it has fragrances, it has, you know, things that you can't avoid, especially if you're like buying it off the shelf. If you're making it yourself, you know exactly what you're putting in it. But if you're buying it, there's going to be stuff in there. There's going to be stuff that you know and stuff that you don't know. And the stuff that you don't know could be what's causing more and more damage to your hair. So you want to kind of try and limit it. Be mindful of what's in it as well. You want to avoid using products that have like a lot of sulfates and why am I going blank? Parabens, chloride, and like just a lot of those hair life stripping, moisturizing, robbing, damaging things. I don't know why so many harmful things are put into the things that we use every day. It boggles my mind, especially with food. Like, drives me nuts. Like, why bother putting that stuff in there? If you know it's harmful, you know it does damage, why put it in? I kind of had to really go through the products that I had at home, especially with my shampoos and my conditioners and all that stuff. I can't find one that does not have, well, I mean, I'm sure it exists, but like, it's in everything. You'll find like a lot of chloride and, you know, oil stripping things. And yes, you'll find products that'll have like coconut oil and all of those healthy, delicious things that you want to put in your hair. But if you take a look at the ingredients on it, you see it at the very like bottom, which means that's the least used, and like what's at the top is what's mostly filled. So it's like water, and then, you know, I find shampoos with alcohol in it and a lot of these harsh chemicals that are stripping your scalp and stripping your hair of that moisture and the nutrients that it needs, and then it's putting it back. So then it's kind of like, it's not giving you anything extra, it's just wasting your time or just damaging it a little more than it's helping. Now I get it that it is in a lot of the things that we do use, and I can't even get away from it. I stopped using those shampoos and stuff, but it is still in conditioners that I use. Eventually I do plan on going full on organic, of making it myself, because I know exactly what I'm putting into it, which then I'll know exactly what's going into my hair and how it's helping it. But yeah, I don't have all the stuff for that yet. But those videos will come in the future of those DIYs of how to make your own conditioners and stuff like that. So if you're interested, please click on that subscribe button just so you don't miss anything. But I'll continue. Anyways, you want to keep conditioning your hair, and that's my next tip. Like, do as many deep conditions as possible. Basically, kind of every time that you're washing your hair or whatever you're doing to it, you want to give it time for it to nourish and settle in your hair. That kind of plays into my next thing of, you know, ditching the I was gonna say ShopRite. That is not it. Ditching the shampoo. Try and ease into using more natural cleansers. What I do to clean my hair, clean my scalp, and give it everything that it needs is I use onion juice, and I mix it with apple cider vinegar. I mix some of my conditioner in it. I put mayonnaise in it. I put bananas, any little things that I have around the house, sometimes avocados if they're going bad, and I'll make that mixture, put it in my hair, rub it on my scalp, give it time to cleanse and clean and moisturize my hair, and then I wash it out. And then, you know, that's how I've been keeping my scalp and my hair clean these past 3 years, and it's done wonders. My hair no longer feels dry and brittle after I shampoo it, and then I have to like drench it with conditioner, which still has that stuff that's not so great. Like, you don't need any fragrances in your hair. Like, your hair's not gonna stink. General, I don't know what hair does stink unless like you're putting things in it, and then like the fragrances mix of the old products and new products, and then that's what stinks. But naturally your hair is not gonna stink, so you don't need that additional nonsense. Two of the things that really help my hair grow thicker and longer is, for one, using Ayurvedic oils, which is basically oil that you infuse with herbs like henna and shikakai and fenugreek and amla berry and, you know, all of those wonderful mysterious herbs that thickened my hair in the first place, because when we roll back to the very beginning, when I realized my hair just kind of shot and I need to do something to fix it, once I switched and I started using those Ayurvedic oils on my scalp, like a month later, my hair was much thicker and much healthier and much better than it was before. And that was still when I was, you know, using color and stuff in my hair. So even with that damage, and I was still straightening my hair, it thickened my hair and my hair looked a lot healthier than what it was. So definitely, you know, try and infuse more herbs and stuff into your oil that you're using in your scalp. If you're giving your scalp hot oil treatments, or just, you know, you want to keep your scalp moisturized so it's not dry and flaky, or you know, get any dandruff or anything. And the second thing is supplements. MSM is like heaven. It definitely doubled my hair growth speed. Because I am older, my hair did slow down in growth, and that kind of picked it back up to where it used to be. In the past, my hair would grow like maybe an inch a month, and then it went down to like half or maybe even less than that a month. So once I started taking the MSM, which is a natural sulfur that kind of helps boost that and also helps your joints and everything, like I have videos dedicated for that, and you can check out those and you can see the difference of what the MSM actually does and how it's affected me and my hair. Long story short, doubles the hair growth, and it's really helpful. A lot of people also take collagen peptides, depending on which one. I don't know. For me, it didn't work as good as the MSM, but if you're combining them both, I don't think you can go wrong. But that's not going to help you by itself. What you need to do is basically treat the inside. Once you are good with the inside, it'll show through the outside. That's why a lot of people say the things that you put into your body is what you're going to get out of it. If you're putting junk and damaging things, and you know, you're smoking, you're drinking, you're doing all this stuff like really crazy, your body's going to give that back to you, and it's going to show through your skin, it's going to show through your hair, it's going to show through your teeth. Just your whole outer appearance is affected by what you're doing on the inside. So definitely increase, if not, your greens and your vegetables and your water intake, because that will help in a zillion ways other than just with your hair. There is a lot of the natural sulfur and stuff that you would have in the MSM in regular vegetables and stuff. So if you're not into taking those kind of like supplements, increase your veggies and eat healthy, and that will definitely help. Sleeping helps too, because that's when your body takes its time to recover and build, you know. But if you're only getting a couple of hours of sleep like I am, it's not going to go anywhere, which is why I end up taking vitamins and all that stuff to kind of make up for it. So you do want to keep your hair protected, meaning you do want to use your protective hairstyles when you're going to sleep. Maybe, you know, put a satin bonnet or something on your head before you like lay down. People say using silk pillowcases will help if you have like really curly hair, and like, you know, the friction from it will be less damaging than, you know, if you're using cotton fabrics and stuff like that. That's too much for me. And so I'm like, I don't really care at that point, but I do usually braid my hair and like keep it protected when I'm just doing nothing, or like if I'm going to sleep. You do want to keep your hair trimmed as often, like not as often as possible, because you don't want to, you know, do it like every week or every month, but you know, every couple of months or so, trim those split ends if you find any, and kind of just keep your hair tamed in that aspect. If you're letting your split ends run wild, it's gonna break, it's gonna look stringy, it's gonna look damaged, it's gonna look flimsy, and they rise. The longer it's left untreated, the more you're gonna have to cut off in the long run, because it's gonna break. Speaking of breakage, when you wash your hair, don't rub it. Try pat or like scrunch it dry, and that kind of eliminates the friction as well. That will lessen the chances of your hair breaking. A lot of people say to use like t-shirts or something to help your hair dry, but again, I'm not about that life. Like, I'm not there yet. I'm a little too lazy for that, so I still use the towel, but I at least scrunch my hair and then I just let it air dry after that. In the summertime, especially when it's hot and depending on where you live, keep your hair hydrated as much as possible. That doesn't mean like drench it in conditioner every 5 seconds or dump a bunch of oil on your scalp. Your hair is going to take that in, but up to a point, and then it won't anymore. So then if you keep piling that stuff on, it's gonna end up clogging your pores and just, it's not fun. It's not nice to deal with. Let's say it's really hot outside and your ends start drying up, but like if you rub your finger in your scalp, it's still moisturized. Just grab a little squirt bottle or something, pour some water, maybe a little bit of conditioner, maybe a little bit of oil, or a little bit of something to help, and just spritz your hair like whenever you feel it's thirsty. It's kind of like you and your body. If you are dehydrated and you just need that bottle of water, you need something to kind of relieve your stress and pain of just being thirsty and dehydrated. Your hair is kind of the same thing, so spritz it every once in a while. It's like a little plant, so be nice. Another thing, please don't panic or have a heart attack if you see fallout, if your hair is shedding. Like it's natural, it's gonna happen, it's supposed to happen. You lose like, what did they say, like over 100 strands, maybe even more a day. That just means like it's new growth coming in. Your hair has a lifeline and a lifespan. You don't have the same hair that you had when you were 6. It doesn't stay. That hair is dead and it's long gone and it's been out your body. I think it's like maybe 5 years or so your hair, each strand lasts, and then it dies. So each day that goes on, it's 5 years from whatever day that hair strand grew, so it's gonna come out. Also, you want to keep in mind, the longer your hair gets, the more it looks like you're losing, and I had to remind myself of that just because my hair's been really short, and so it didn't look like it was that much hair that came out like whenever I'd shower and wash it and like comb it out. Now it's really long, so one strand coiled up will look thicker than one strand if it was like, you know, this long. So it's okay. You don't see cats crying because they lose a zillion strands of their fur every single day because their hair grows back. They always look like a full fur coat of just fur. So you still have your hair. Unless you're losing huge clumps, like where it's super noticeable and you like have patches, then that's when you want to get it checked out. Then that's when you want to look in to see what you're doing to your hair that's causing that damage, or you know what internally that's affecting your hair loss. So that's when you kind of look into it. But even if I pull my hair now, like I'm sure I'll find, yep, I found another strand, 2 of them. Actually no, that was one. One really long one. So it's gonna come out, but it's gonna grow back. So just calm down. And that leads into my biggest tip, and the final one is just be patient. You can't rush growth. You can't rush your body growing. When you're like a little kid and you want to be taller, it's like, oh, you're checking it every single day and you don't really notice a difference. But if you know, step back from it and then look maybe 1 month later or 2 months later, or you know, a year later, you'll see the difference and then you'll see the growth. So just have patience with your hair. Don't rush into anything. Try not to be irrational like this one, and impatient sometimes. So just be gentle. And I realized I talked you to death anyways. I'm really sorry. Yeah, it's a huge difference from, you know, how my hair was 3 years ago to how it is now. And I really can't believe like all of this black was that itty bitty amount of roots that I had growing in when I decided to stop dyeing my hair. And of course when I wanted to go back to black, that's when I ruined it and had to cut it off. But it's a good thing that I did, because I don't think my hair would have been as vibrant and thriving as much as it is right now. I'm happy with that, but right now, kind of a little crabby and miserable because it's hot and I'm sweating under here. And so, yeah, it is super wet. So I'm gonna kind of call it a night, and yeah, that's basically my advice to you on the things that I have done to help my hair and allow it to grow and just bloom and blossom. I'm gonna end up taking this bun out and probably braiding my hair anyways. So I'm gonna do that off camera after I cool down a little bit. So yeah, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you lovelies next time. So have a wonderful night, morning, evening, or afternoon, whenever you're watching. And yeah.